Sat in my brother-in-law's 2009 Lexus IS-250 last weekend. North Tyneside, heated leather, smooth V6, physical climate dials, a key you can actually turn. He's owned it since 2014. 3 sets of tires, 2 batteries, 1 set of brake pads. That's it. 212,000 miles on the clock. He told me he's never going back to anything newer because he can't see the point. Mark from the insurance video comments asked me to define the era, to put a date on when modern cars stopped being good. So I did. Today's 9 cars are the proof, and the dates are tighter than most people realize. Euro NCAP confirmed in 2025 that any new car launched from 2026 onwards without physical buttons for indicators and wipers loses safety stars in the rating system. A regulatory body has formally classified the touchscreen everything era as a safety problem. UK police recorded vehicle thefts climbed 75% from the 2013 to 14 low to 128,855 in the most recent 12 months, almost entirely driven by relay attacks on keyless entry that older cars cannot suffer. And which 2025 survey data shows older cars between 10 and 15 years old cost less to service annually than cars from under 4 years old. Today's 9 cars, all from a tightly defined 7-year window, prove the sweet spot is real. If you want the cars built when the engineering peaked, hit subscribe. 3 more guides this month: the BMW pre-2010 deep dive, the last great Mercedes era, and the post-2015 disasters worth avoiding entirely. Why the window is exactly 2005 to 2012. The boundaries aren't arbitrary, they're set by EU regulation and consumer technology adoption with documented dates. The 2005 flaw: Euro 4 emissions became mandatory for all new car approvals across the EU from January 2005. Fully phased into UK showrooms by 2006. By that point, sequential fuel injection had matured, electronic engine management was reliable, and rust protection had finally caught up to Japanese standards across European brands. The cars from 2005 onwards are old enough to be simple and modern enough to last. The 2012 ceiling: Euro 5 became mandatory for all new UK car sales from January 2011, which made diesel particulate filters effectively compulsory. Touchscreen replaces buttons became the dominant cabin layout from 2013. Keyless entry became standard equipment from 2014. Stop-start systems became universal from 2014. Mandatory ADAS features from 2018 onwards added another layer of expensive electronics that fail outside warranty. What broke after 2012? DPFs that clog on short urban journeys at £1,000 plus to replace. AdBlue systems with sensor failures. Capacitive controls that fail and cost dealer money to recalibrate. Keyless entry that loses the car to a £25 relay device on eBay. Touchscreen failures that disable climate, audio, and reversing camera in a single fault. The window between matters because everything inside it works. Today's 9. Number 9. The Mazda 2 Mark II 2007 to 2014. Insurance Group 9 to 15, £2,000 to £4,500, ULEZ compliant petrol. Target the 1.3 petrol with the manual gearbox. Mazda bucked the industry trend by making the Mark II lighter than the Mark I it replaced, a rarity in any decade. Sharp handling, frugal economy, no turbocharger to fail. DVSA 2024 MOT data confirms an 82.5% first-time pass rate at 16 years old. Avoid the 1.4 and 1.6 diesels with injector and DPF problems. Avoid the automatic. Total transmission failure after 50,000 miles is documented across UK forums. What to check? Rear shock absorbers leak oil and trigger common MOT failures. Test the central locking on all 4 doors. Control unit failure after 40,000 miles is a known weak spot. Around £180 fitted at any UK independent. The verdict: shares its platform with the Ford Fiesta, but data confirms it lasts longer. Number 8. The Mercedes-Benz E-Class W212 pre-facelift, 2009 to 2012. Insurance Group 32 to 40, £5,340 to £12,000. ULEZ exempt only for the petrol variants. The E220 CDI diesel is non-compliant. Target the E350 petrol if you live inside a UK clean air zone. The diesel E220 CDI is the engineering pick for non-urban drivers and motorway specialists. The W212 was Mercedes admitting publicly that the previous W211 generation had been a quality disaster. Heavy doors, solid switchgear, a return to the engineering integrity that built the brand. UK fleet operators routinely take E220 CDI W212s past 350,000 miles without rebuilding the engine. What to check? Front suspension components wear under the engine weight. Control arm bushes around £350 fitted. Avoid the late period Blue Tech models with vast AdBlue tanks that develop sensor faults. Confirm the Airmatic suspension functions correctly if specified. Replacement struts run £600 each. The verdict? the last properly built E-Class, non-urban only if you choose the diesel. Number 7. The Volvo V70 Mark III 2007 to 2016. Insurance group 24 to 35, £1,290 to £12,995. ULEZ status varies, only late Euro 6 diesels qualify. Petrol variants are compliant from launch. Target the 2.4 D5 manual or automatic for non-urban drivers. The ultimate analog estate. High supportive seats, a logical dashboard with physical buttons for everything, and a 5-cylinder diesel engine designed to cross continents. The Drive E 4-cylinder replacement that came after 2016 introduced documented timing chain failures and emissions hardware that cost more to maintain than the engine costs to replace. The Mark III D5 has none of those weaknesses. What to check? Front suspension bushes, drop links, and tyres wear quickly under the heavy engine. Budget £400 fitted for a full front axle refresh at any UK independent. Confirm the swirl flaps in the intake have been deleted on D5 cars. UK specialists do the conversion for £200 to £250. The verdict: the most comfortable used estate car in Britain in 2026, full stop. Non-urban or late Euro 6 only. Worth pausing on the cost data, which 2025 survey results published a finding that contradicts almost every dealer pitch on a forecourt. Older cars between 10 and 15 years old now cost £290 a year to service in the UK. Cars between 0 and 4 years old cost £318. The repair bill comparison is even closer, £377 a year on the older bracket against £365 on the newer one. £12. The older cars are money pit's claim is empirically wrong. The cars in this video sit precisely inside the 10 to 15 year servicing bracket. The data agrees with the thesis. Number 6. The Honda Jazz Mark II 2008 to 2015. Insurance group 13 to 17, £3,000 to £6,000 ULEZ compliant. Target the 1.4 IV Tech Petrol manual. The What Car Reliability Survey 2025 ranked the Jazz first in its class with a 96.81% rating, which gave it 5 stars for reliability in the 10 to 15 year bracket. DVSA 2024 MOT data confirms an 83.2% first-time pass rate at 15 years old. The Magic Seat system folds the rear seats vertically or completely flat. The practical difference inside the car versus any other Super Mini at this price is obvious within 5 seconds of opening the doors. Avoid the 2008 to 2011 iShift automated manual. Clutch judder and £900 mechatronic repairs are routine. What to check? Gearbox bearing wind costs £450 to £550 at a UK independent against £819 at a Honda dealer. AC condenser fails on pre-2011 cars, a £250 plus replacement. The verdict? The most practical small car of the era, and the data says it lasts. Number 5. The Toyota RAV4 Mark III 2006 to 2012. Insurance group 20 to 28, £3,000 to £7,000 ULEZ compliant petrol. Target the 2.0 VVT-i petrol with the manual gearbox. The SUV before SUVs became 2.5-ton touchscreen vessels, which awarded the Mark III RAV4 a flawless 5 stars for reliability in the 10 to 15 year bracket. The 2026 Warranty-Wise Used Vehicle Reliability Index scored it 79.9 out of 100. Most useful detail: the side-hinged rear door means access works even when parked nose into a wall, unlike the tailgate opening modern equivalents that need 3 feet of clearance behind the vehicle. Avoid the 2.2 DCAT diesel, DPF problems and complex emissions hardware. The petrol manual is the long-term keeper. What to check? The side-hinged rear doors drops on its hinges over time. Replacement hinge pins run around £180. When repairs are needed, parts cost significantly more than the segment average, which records £697 typical repair bills against £450 for the equivalent Honda CR-V. The verdict? The reliable SUV from before reliable SUVs disappeared. Number 4. The Honda Accord Mark 8 2008 to 2015. Insurance group 22 to 28, £1,480 to £8,995 ULEZ compliant petrol. Target the 2.0 IV Tech petrol. UK Honda specialists describe the Mark 8 Accord's reliability as bulletproof. The data backs the description, with Mark 8 saloons routinely clearing 250,000 miles on original drivetrains. This is the last great D-segment saloon Honda will ever build for the UK. Honda pulled the Accord out of European production in 2015. The replacement strategy was to push buyers into SUVs. The car this represents simply does not exist on the new market in 2026 at any price. What to check? Front lower control arm bushes wear at 80,000 to 90,000 miles, around £350 fitted. The suspension ride is firm on poor UK rural roads. Test drive on the surfaces you actually use. Saloon boot space is restricted compared to the Estate Tourer variant. The verdict? The last properly engineered Honda saloon. UK availability is shrinking every year as fleet examples are retired. Number 3. The BMW E90 325i 330i 2005 to 2011. Insurance group 25 to 32, £3,500 to £7,500, ULEZ compliant petrol. The N52 Inline 6 is widely regarded by UK independent specialists as the last great naturally aspirated straight 6 BMW will ever build. The successor F30 generation introduced the N20 4-cylinder turbo with the polycarbonate tie-in chain guides that triggered class action settlements across the UK and Europe. The N52 has none of those failure modes. UK independents routinely log E90 N52 cars passing 200,000 miles on original intervals. What to check? Oil leaks from the valve cover and oil filter housing gaskets, £150 to £300 fitted at any UK independent. Electric water pump fails predictably between 80,000 and 100,000 miles, replaced preventatively at around £450. The verdict? Covered as number 3 in the BMW Deep Dive, and it earns the same place here for the same reason. The data is unambiguous on the N52. Worth knowing about what 2026 cars lose. Euro NCAP, the European safety rating body, confirmed in 2025 that any new car launched from 2026 onwards without physical buttons for indicators, wipers, hazard lights, and the SOS function will lose safety stars in their rating. The reasoning came from QuoteZone's 2025 driver survey. 47% of UK drivers find touchscreen dashboards dangerously distracting. The regulatory framework now formally agrees that the post-2013 cabin design contributed to driver distraction crashes. Every car in this video has physical buttons for everything that matters. That isn't nostalgia, it's an engineering decision Euro NCAP has retrospectively validated. Number 2. The Toyota Yaris Mark II 2005 to 2011. Insurance group 4 to 12, £1,500 to £4,500, ULEZ compliant. Target the 1.33 VVT-i petrol with the manual gearbox. The 2026 Warranty-Wise Used Vehicle Reliability Index ranks the Yaris first overall in the entire United Kingdom. Not first in segment, not first in price bracket, first overall against every car analysed. The score? 89.2 out of 100. DVSA 2024 MOT data confirms an 83.5% first-time pass rate at 18 years old, ranking the Yaris in the top 6 for reliability across every car on UK roads, which awarded it 5 stars for reliability in the 10 to 15-year-old bracket with a 23% fault rate, the lowest recorded for any Super Mini. Avoid the 1.4 D40 diesel, non-ULEZ compliant. Avoid the MMT automated manual, jerky shifting, and expensive repairs. What to check? Manual gearbox bearing whine at speed in 3rd or 4th gear. Brake caliper sticking on cars used for short journeys. The verdict? The most reliable car you can buy in Britain at any price below £5,000. The data says so independently across 3 indices. Number 1. The Lexus IS-250 2005 to 2013. Insurance group 28 to 35, £3,995 to £13,500, ULEZ compliant. The strongest pick on this list, and the reasoning is unambiguous. Honest John, the most respected UK reliability journalist of the past 2 decades, has placed the Lexus IS-250 at the top of his most reliable car you can buy list across multiple survey years. The 2.5-litre naturally aspirated V6 carries no turbocharger, runs a maintenance-free metal timing chain, and was built in the Tahara plant when Toyota's quality control reached levels the company itself has not matched since the brand transitioned almost entirely to hybrids after 2013. UK fleet operators and private owners routinely report 200,000 plus miles on original drivetrains with maintenance bills below the cost of a single mechatronic repair on any equivalent German rival. The interior uses semi-aniline leather, real wood, and physical buttons for every primary function: climate, audio, sat-nav, drive modes. The replacement IS300H that came after 2013 introduced the hybrid CVT system the Lexus brand is still being criticized for in 2026. The IS250 has none of that exposure. UK availability, shrinking but still findable. A clean 2009 to 2012 example with full Lexus dealer history runs £6,000 to £8,000 against the median market price of £6,968. What to check? The engine drinks fuel in town traffic. Expect 28 miles per gallon average, 35 miles per gallon on motorways. Brake caliper slider pins bind if not greased annually. UK Lexus specialists handle the service for £180 to £220. Some cars develop minor dashboard rattles around the center console. The verdict: the single most reliable petrol car of the 2005 to 2012 era. The premium engineering peaked before the brand pivoted permanently to hybrids. Your decision to seek a 2005 to 2012 car isn't sentiment, it's data. Every car on this list will cost less to service, less to insure, and less to repair than its post-2015 equivalent. The cabins still have buttons that work, the keys still need to be physically present, the engines avoid the wet belts, the DPF blockages, the mechatronic failures, and the touchscreen disasters that have made the post-2013 used market a financial minefield. Which one of these would you actually put on the driveway tomorrow morning? The comments are where this community decides which one I cover next as a standalone deep dive.